I just came from watching a some video and I'm here to actually respond to it. What this man said. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Sorry, just rushed into it. I tried this 2 times before, so time for me to actually explain this after I do something real. So yeah, now I'm back. So let's start this off with one of my major problems with this video. Number one, he thinks that he actually understands the point of the things which were being said, and the things that he understand what and the things that he understand morality to actually such a point. The very fact that he loves his child so much is because of God. If he actually read the book, he would know that we love because he actually loved us first. So the fact that God loved us so much, well, is the very reason that we actually have the ability to love. So the very fact that he's arguing with is the very thing that God gave him by loving him. So basically, anytime that somebody loves, it's because of God. Because God, if He didn't love us, then we wouldn't love anything or anyone at all. So to think that you can understand the love which was given to you, and God understands more than you because He's the creator of it, and God knew how much Abraham loved his son. He knew better than you ever could. No matter how much you actually try to compare as a father, you actually wouldn't know to the exact extent and measurement like a man that knows that person so well. So yeah, that's my point. He thinks that he actually understands Abraham, how he thinks and everything like that. I can tell you one thing that I know about Abraham is that he was hurt. That's one thing. He did not want to do it. Technically, yeah, he actually did not want to do it. He was actually just loyal to God to that point. It was actually rather a sign that he trusted that God was good, God was loving, God was amazing, to the point that he knew if he were to actually kill his son, it actually had a reason. That's the same thing that happened with Job. Job trusted God with all his heart, knowing that God was good. So even though he was in absolute pain, he continued in his way. And that also happened with Jesus. Jesus knew that humanity had to be saved, but he actually had to actually die on the cross. He did not want to die. He even talked to God about dying. He even asked if there was an additional other way out of it, but he still ended up dying. This is actually a sign of real human intensity and emotion at those moments, and these people choosing to actually go through with it either way. You're actually dehumanizing them, making it seem like they don't have the exact same feelings that you do. If even God was literally shed a tear at the literal death of Jesus, the world turned dark, the literal sun faded, cracks all over the what happened, and Jesus literally had to ask God before he died to actually forgive them for they did not know what they were doing. God did not like seeing that even in the slightest. Though he wanted to save us, he wanted to actually give us a second chance. It still hurt him to actually sacrifice his own son. But then people are actually for some reason he wants to actually desensitize this moment by making it seem like God did not care even a little bit. So yeah, that's my point. To obey the truth of God, seeing you suffer actually hurts God more than it could ever hurt you. God was hurt by seeing suffering, even though he was testing his people, even though he was trying to help others, even though he was letting sin slide for so long just to actually give everybody a chance to actually go up to heaven. It actually hurt him more than it could ever hurt us. So to think that God is evil because these things happen, it's like saying, yeah, this man is hurting, but he's not hurting because he actually enjoys it. That makes no sense. God himself is actually hurting from sin. He actually does not like it one bit. But he lets it come to pass because he wants us to have freedom. And that's probably the best thing that you can ever understand about it. People say that God changed after the Genesis. He was a lot more evil, miracle. That's all a lie, an absolute lie. In Genesis, after Adam and Eve ate the fruit, the forbidden fruit, God did not immediately kick them out of the garden. God literally talked to them. He even made clothes for them. And literally talked to them like a loving parent. He talked to them, asked them what they did wrong, and even though they, well, started shifting blame everywhere, God already knew, but he still asked because he wanted to actually strike a conversation. He even called them out to actually talk to them. He did not order them out. He did not force them out. He talked to them. He called them out. He called them out of their shame to actually speak with him. That's how loving he is in Genesis. And people say he actually changed after Hebrews. If he was so loving not to immediately punish them, like the trends of the old world, then why do you call it that? God literally did not flood the world until a whole bunch of years later, even after things got out of hand. It's like 100 or even 1,000 years continuously passed before God flooded the earth. Before God decided enough is enough, hundreds of years passed with God trying to actually change the mind. And even when he was about to flood the earth, he told Noah to actually call people out to actually come with him so that they would survive the flood. God was loving enough to actually do all of that. Yeah. And people are saying he actually changed. Those two stories alone, those two parables, actually more than enough to actually say God never changed. The only thing that changed is actually Jesus' sacrifice. That's why God does not immediately punish sin anymore. He still didn't immediately punish it back then. Most of the time, the sins that he punished immediately were because of possible threats to his plans. So yeah. So actually, what's my point? God never changed, not even once. People for some reason just believe he did. Then number two, if anything ever happens, God did it for a reason. And the people which suffered through those situations, which were making up, saying that, trying to actually put yourself in a scenario that God wouldn't put you in, those very same people are the ones that trusted God through the entire process. They're a symbol, a definition. It's God showing you how you should act in faith. But you're acting like that God would actually make you kill your son. He did not make Abraham kill his son's son. At any point, if God were to make somebody to actually kill somebody, he actually had a reason. Sometimes we actually don't know the reason that God does things. Many of the things that God did and showed and made the people do, quite literally, were what led to this world that we love so much. Morality wouldn't exist as it does without Christianity, whether you actually believe it or not. Christian knowledge and morality was spread through the entire world until this morality that we love so much was made. And what if God never picked up Israel? What if God never did any of those things that you find so horrendous to actually stop us from actually becoming this evil? Well, what would have happened? Think for a second. If God never flooded the earth and kept those evil people which are raped, killed, steal, they were breaking all of the 10 commandments, right? That means they were adulterers, meaning there would be rapists. I don't want to say any of the other words like HORE. Everywhere people naked dancing, saying, you actually wouldn't even want your child anywhere near that area. And these people were killing each other constantly. They at constant war without any problem, committing mass genocide for no reason at all. And God thought, I have to stop this. But they went, but nobody listened to him, and they did not want to speak to him. So God removed them. It's like saying there was a rampant murder at a school threatening people, but then you actually kill the murderer. But you have no choice but to actually kill the murderer. But then you're the one blamed for stopping the murderer from actually killing the only good people left. The only people left in that class. You actually saved them by killing the murderer. But then, for some reason, you're the one blamed for killing the murderer. They say you killed that man, or you killed those people, but they wouldn't stop. You actually had to kill them, but nobody's willing to actually listen to that because they just don't want you to actually be right. They don't want you to be a murderer. I mean, yeah, I like the whole you actually don't want somebody to actually be a murderer thing. Nobody, not even God wants to actually kill anybody. As he said himself, he waits to actually make sure that nobody perishes in hell. But people will still perish in hell. God already knowing that has already made hell for such a reason. Yeah, people will still get punished and die in hell. No, you actually want to be in eternal pain. Eternal life is a gift from God to actually the believers of Christ. It's not a punishment. Hell is a physical place, yes, but what happens to actually non-believers? Perish. It's called perish, as in die. You die, but as God say, you do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. God will punish you for the sins and transaction, whatever that you did, right? Then you just die. It's actually not an internal punishment. God is completely just, so it's even just when punishing you only for the evil things that you did. So I actually remember that too. What should I title this video? I'll figure it out later. So bye guys. Anyone may think this one more about me ranting and actually rambling about multiple things that were in my heart, things I wanted to say. I wanted to show you some of the things with biblical backing behind them, and other things with my own personal knowledge with biblical backing behind that too. So basically, most of it was biblically backed. But yeah, that's the end of that video. See ya guys later.